I'm Laura Ray, and today we're going to be testing out some makeup to see if it lasts a long time, how it looks on my wrinkles, my almost 60 skin. So if you're up for that and you like affordable makeup, then make sure you subscribe to the channel. And if you enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate a thumbs up. Now, Maybelline's come out with a brand new foundation. It surprised me because it looks the same as the one they already have. But this is called their treatment makeup eraser. And it has goji berry and collagen in it. So this is a brand new foundation. It was sort of just pushed in with the other ones. It wasn't even on a display when I went to look for it. So we're going to test this out, see if it lasts a full workday. Now, it has the sponge like they always put on these, but I'm going to remove that. You can actually take that off. I find this gets very gloopy and messy, and we're going to just twist this up and put the foundation on like that. But I have some other products, some I've used a few times that I'm really enjoying that I also wanted to share with you. I've already put on eye cream, my Kiehl's, and now I'm going to go in with this. This is the Glow Recipe Watermelon Glow PHA plus BHA toner. It's for tightening the pores. I've been finding it works great. Now, I'm very scent sensitive, and I have extremely sensitive skin, and it's working for me. So I'm not sure that it would work for everyone with sensitive skin, but this hasn't been bothering my skin at all. The texture of it is a little bit like the snail mucin, but thinner. I would say thinner. And I'm just going on to the skin and patting it in. And this is very hydrating. I feel like it does tighten the pores and make my pores look better. And I'm just going to go on like that. Now you can apply this morning and night. Like I said, my skin's really sensitive. I'm probably better just sticking with it one time a day and using other products at night. But this is fairly new to me. I think I've used it for a couple of weeks, and I've been enjoying the way it feels on my skin. And I have a little extra, and I've been putting that on the backs of my hands. And I've been thinking my hands are looking a little better too. While this is drying, I'm going to go ahead and put on this lip balm from Natrium. I really like this. It's very pretty on the lips. I like that it's not sticky. It has a lot of shine. So I've been happy with this. And the whole Natrium line, I've been trying more things from it, and everything I've tried so far, I've really enjoyed. Now let's go ahead on to the eyes. While my skincare dries, I like to work on the eyes, and I'm going to start with the brows actually and use this very affordable CoverGirl pencil. It's in the shade Taupe. I showed this the other day, and I can't believe how well it works. It lasted great. I'll give you a little spoiler there. It really lasted during the workday. I find that Taupe is such a great shade. So many eye pencils just don't work for me. The colors, the light brown's too dark. The blonde is too warm sometimes. It's been hard for me to find a good match, but Taupe really is the best match. And one thing I've been saying lately is I'm just embracing my brows. I'm so tired of trying to create something that isn't there. So I'm just embracing the brows and appreciating what I have. And it might not be the thick brows. They're not Brooke Shields brows. They're Laura Ray's brows. And I just have accepted it. Now, one thing I love about this super affordable pencil is this sponge. You would think that's useless, but it really does blend everything in nicely. And I just want my brows to look natural. Now let's go on to the eyes. I'm just using my Wet n Wild Mega Last eyeshadow primer today. And I actually bought the palette I'm going to share with you, which is so affordable, because of one of you in the comments. I had done a video about another eyeshadow palette, and you said, oh, I love the Palladio, and you don't hear much about that brand anymore. I know they sold it at Sally's for a long time, but I bought this on Amazon. This is the palette. It's a Palladio eyeshadow quad, and I really was excited about this mossy green shade and the golds. These are so beautiful. And the other day I did a look with the gold just all over the lid, and it looks so pretty, and with this green as a liner. So that's what we're going to be doing today. This is the Sonia Kashuk brush. I love this. It's so fluffy, soft. Look at how soft this is. It's just super soft and very affordable. Let's go in and shape the eye a little bit. I'm going to use the green, not the brown, to shape the eye. Look at how beautiful that is. It really shapes, but yet it almost looks like a brown, but gives my eye a lot of definition. Now, one thing I've been talking about is going in between layers with a little bit of this Pat McGrath powder. This is made especially for the eyes. It's called Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Blurring Under Eye Powder. And this is in the shade yellow. I first saw Lisa J talking about this and how it was like a powder that worked the best in her under eyes. And I thought, is there a powder that will work in my under eyes? And look at how this blends out this shadow and takes the edge off of it and gives it a much more diffused look. Now, another trick you can do is go into the powder, sort of push the powder into the brush, then go on to the lid. And I'm going to go ahead and go over the lid with the powder and just lay a base for the gold that I'm going to apply. We'll blend this out, but I love the diffused look that this powder gives. And I have used it in the under eye and it works great there. So I'm really glad that I heard Lisa talking about it. And the thing about powdering in between your shadow is it's really going to last a very long time. I'm not sure which gold to pick. Let's pick this one. It sort of has a green to it. Really beautiful. And I'm going to just pat that on the lid. And one thing you can do too, I'm going to put it more just along the lash line. We think of covering the whole mobile lid, but one way to use this kind of product if your eyes have crepiness or hanging skin is to put it more along the lash line, almost like you're putting a liner on. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm not going to put it way back in the crease of my eye, just there. And then let's go back in with the brush. This is a little more narrow, more compact. And I'll put a little bit of that green behind that more. And just very lightly go into the crease area. I really like that. It gives me a little bit of sparkle without having a whole mobile lid full of it. And now I'm going to go back into that Pat McGrath powder and just sort of blend this all out. And again, if you push the powder into the brush, you don't get any powder. Although I find that this powder just doesn't seem to get everywhere because it's just so fine. And even when I pick some up, it doesn't feel like you're picking up tons of powder. I decided to use this liner from NYX today. It's in the shade Emerald Empire, and it's very green, and I thought that might really bring out the green of the eyes. So I'm just going to go right along the lash line. Well, this is the mascara I have with me on my table. It's the Roller Lash from Benefit. This is one of their travel size mascaras. Let's go ahead and put this on. They actually sent me this to try, and it had been a while since I had used the Roller Lash, and I do love it. I like that these travel size are more affordable. It gives you a chance to see if you like the brush, if you like the formula. But you all know my favorite are the tubing mascaras because you just don't get the flakes and they're so easy to wash off. The tubes just come floating off the lashes, and I feel like my lashes have been in better shape using those tubing mascaras. I think those look nice as lashes. I don't have great lashes, but they stand out. That's one thing I love about the tubing mascara. I can even do the lower lashes, and it just seems to make my eyes stand out more when I do that. So we're going to see how this foundation does. I'm very excited to try it. I bought the shade 150. I'm looking for something that's a little more tan, but I'm a neutral shade. And what I'll do is just put this on the back of my hand. Wow, it's very runny. Runnier than I thought, but not as runny as some of the products I've tried recently. And I will use my Sonia Kashuk sponge. This is damp, so it's just a little damp. I've been finding that the products look a lot better on my skin with a damp sponge. I'm not getting all the pooling in my pores that I was getting. Let's see how that matches. That's not a bad match. I may end up needing to get another shade, but that looks pretty good. A little lighter than I wanted. I kept debating back and forth between a couple of the shades. So if I like this, I'll go back and buy a little deeper shade or order a deeper shade. Seems very thin. There's definitely like a sort of a makeup-y scent, but not heavy. A scent like a foundation might have. I hope that's clear what I'm trying to say. I'm getting pretty good coverage for a damp sponge. I do see that I still would like some concealer under the eyes maybe. And I see a little redness still popping through. But overall, I think it looks really nice. I don't see it collecting in any of my lines or anything here. It all looks smooth. Let's go ahead and do the other side. I used up what I put on with that application. The only thing about this, I wish they would just use like a squeezy tube. It's very messy. Even with the sponge, if I had left it, then that's messy. So I find that the Maybelline, that's the one thing I would change the packaging if it were up to me. It's not up to me, but I would change the packaging. I like packaging that's not messy, that you don't have to keep cleaning up when you're done with your makeup, because I don't like it all over the packaging looking messy. Now I had some kind of reaction to something here and it is showing through still. So I may put a little bit of concealer there to cover that up. I'm on my way to school, so it's going to be a good 8 to 9 hours today. I don't have to stay super late today. A lot of days I do stay pretty late at school, but today I'm caught up on a lot of stuff. I worked hard before spring break. I did some over spring break, so I'm sort of caught up with things and I can come home at a regular time and not stay so late. Plus I get to school early and I get a lot of stuff done before the day even starts. This is still popping through. So if you have any redness on the cheek or acne or anything like I do occasionally, I have breakouts too to different products I'm trying because I have such sensitive skin. My skin wasn't made for trying out products. I've said that before. The dermatologist is like, oh, go without makeup for a few days. And that is not going to happen. So I try when I can, and I'm not testing makeup to give my skin a little bit of a break and go without makeup, especially if I'm just staying home. But it's hard because I'm working 5 days of the week. And then on the weekends, I'm out catching up with errands and things I don't get done during the week. So most days I'm out with people and I just enjoy putting on my makeup. All right, so let's take a final look at the foundation before we put on bronzer and blush. I still have the redness popping through. And my nose, let me blend that better. I can still see my capillaries that are broken here. So if you have any kind of redness or anything, you're going to need some kind of color corrector or concealer to cover that up. This is not going to do it. This has an 18% sunscreen, so you're not going to want to use this as a sunscreen either. That's just nowhere near the coverage you would want. I really wish they just wouldn't put sunscreen in makeup and just let you put on your own first. But they do have sunscreen in it. And so also goji berry, which I've had people write me and say they've had a reaction to that before. So just to let you know before you try it, that those are ingredients that are sometimes problematic for other people. But let's see how that looks. And now we'll go ahead and put on bronzer. I'll be applying the new NYX. This is the Buttermelt bronzer, and I'm in the shade Deserve Butter. Deserve Butter. And again, I've tried this, and I found that it can go on strong if you go right in onto your skin. So I am going to be very light with it, light-handed, and build it up because I don't want it to look too intense for school. I'm in close proximity with people, so the makeup, it's not like you're putting on stage makeup. I'm going to be working with kids all day and teachers and parents, and I don't want it to be so obvious. I think that's a good amount. I really like this one. If you prefer powder instead of cream, this is a powder bronzer, and it's very smooth, feels so smooth on the skin. If you're not into cream bronzers, then this may be one you'll want to check out. Now we're going to try a blush that's new to me. This is from Winky Lux, and I have to admit, I love Winky Lux. I've tried a lot of their products that I thought were great, and the packaging definitely got me. I love the little rose. Now this is a cream, and I want to warn you because I have tried this. It goes on pretty intense. So I'm going to put it way up here just so you can see the shade. And then let's take my Sonia Kashuk brush and just sort of pounce it around. And I'm keeping it a little higher because I know how intense it can be, and I'll just bring a little bit down further on the cheek. It's really a pretty product. The shade of this is Cheeky Rose, and I really just thought it was a beautiful shade that would go with a lot of the makeup that I already own. That looks really nice, I think. What do you think of the blush? Let me know in the comments what you think of everything so far that I've tried out. Now, I'm going to use this from Maybelline. This is a yellow under eye concealer or concealer. And what I'm going to do with it is I'm leaving the top on this one. I'm not going to take this off. I'm putting it onto my skin like this. And I'll be mixing it with a setting spray and using it in the under eye area just to brighten that area. I'm just using this brush from e.l.f. I have found recently that yellow works for me. Gives me some brightness. Now that's pretty bright, but I'm going to go up here and clean this up a little bit. You can definitely see a difference between the two eyes. Mixing the concealer with setting spray has stopped any creasing that I had. And I just spray a little bit on. I'm using one from CoverGirl today. You could use any one that you already have. And then just mix the two and pat it in. And you see I'm using such an affordable brush. This brush here is from e.l.f. and it's their wide tapered brush. So you don't even have to have a fancy brush. You could use one you already have. Go into the inner part of the eye. Then you can always take your ring finger and just sort of pat it all in. Let it sit for a little bit and then pat it in. Now, I don't want to powder my face because then we can't really see the longevity of this makeup. But I have a powder I want to share with you so badly that I love that's talc free. This is one I ordered on Amazon. The brand is Carsland. Now, it's very confusing because they started originally in China, but their research and development is in Italy. They have factories in several places around the world. This powder is also cruelty-free, and I just think it's an amazing powder. It's supposed to last 24 hours. It really has helped when I've applied it, changed the look of my makeup, give a more blurred out look. And so what I thought I'd do today is just apply it on the forehead. I'll leave everything the same on the cheeks so we can see better how the makeup lasts around the nose where I tend to get breakdown. But I'm putting on the puff that came with it, and I'm just going to roll it onto my forehead because I do want you to see how this powder works because it's worked really great for me. It's very, very fine, and I just roll it. Take it on the puff that comes with it and just roll it. I get a lot of shine, and I know everybody's into the dewy look, but there, to me, is a difference between like an oily T-zone look and putting a glowy product on. But I really feel like that blurs out some of the forehead stuff I've got going on. I really want to put it on my nose so bad. Let's go ahead. I'll put it on the nose, but we won't put it on the cheeks because my nose to me just looks super shiny, and that's going to bother me today at school. So I'm going to go ahead and put some on the nose. I love the way that looks. That just took away the shine. It gave a more blurred look. And of course, I could put a setting spray on top of that. I'm not going to today, but that's another option. Now let's talk about lips. I have a lipstick I want to share with you. I showed you a shade recently that is Mario's favorite. This is the shade Midtown, and I just thought it was such a natural looking, like just a beautiful nude. I'm going to put it here in my hand. It's sort of a pinky nude, and I wanted some colors for spring that are a little lighter, a little brighter. I'll be going in with this new lip pencil I bought from Gabriel. This is a vegan brand, and I've bought other things from Gabriel over the years. I bought their lipstick, I bought their foundation, and so I bought this lip pencil, and I thought nutmeg might be a beautiful color to make this lipstick pop a little bit more. And I'm going to go ahead and shade the edges of the lips. I really like my lip brush that I have because I can blend the edges. And now let's go in with the By Mario lipstick. Wow, pretty. What I'm going to do, since it's such a light color, is leave the actual lip pencil on the edge where it's a little darker and just blend the edges a little bit and keep most of this shade in the middle so it'll give my lips a little poutier look. Now, one thing I'm not happy with is this little reaction I had showing through here. I really feel like I need some concealer there. So I might take a look and see if I have some that would work really good there. I'm going to fix my hair and come back. I'm about ready to leave, but I wanted to go over a couple things. When I went in the bathroom to do my hair, I could already see a few things I was not happy with. One is that there was some product collecting here and here. So I blended that out a little bit. Now I'm still not happy with the capillaries showing here. I normally would cover that up, but I'm just going to leave that for now. And this here that was showing through, I put a little bit of another BB cream that I have from Joa there because it's a fairly good shade match to cover it up. And I could have done maybe a little more, but it's still peeking through here. Overall, I think part of the reason I'm not really happy with this so far is the shade. I need to go a little bit darker with it, but we'll see. I'm going to wear it all day. I'll be back right now. Let's see what time it is. It's 6:03 in the morning. I'm about to leave for school, and we'll see how I feel at the end of the day and how well everything held up. I'm back from work. It's 4:17 in the afternoon. Let's see how everything did. I know you're probably most curious about the foundation. Let's talk about how the Maybelline did. I'm not a huge fan. I hate to say that, but I feel like it got into a lot of my lines and pores. I have some collecting here when I pull my lines back here, pull the cheek back. Also, you can see the discoloration is peeking through. The other day, I used the IT Cosmetics new matte CC cream. You couldn't see any redness. So for me, I don't like seeing this and around the nose and the breakdown. I have quite a bit of that going there. Now, in the forehead, it didn't collect too much in here, but I did have some collect in the pores right here in the middle between my eyes. Now, as far as the overall look of it, I think I would have felt better if I bought a little deeper shade. But I have so many foundations from the drugstore that I love now, and these serums that I think are excellent, that this will not be a repurchase for me. Now let's talk about the butter bronzer. I really like it. I think it looks nice. I still see it in the forehead. You can still see it on my cheeks. I think that really held up well during the day. The Palladio eyeshadow palette, I'm looking at my eyes. I think the eye look still looks intact and still looks nice. I could clean up a little bit under the eyes here, the mascara. Remember that I used the Benefit. It's not a tubing mascara, so I did get maybe a little darkness just from squinting and stuff, but I could easily take a cotton swab if I were going someplace and just go under the eyes like this. Let's see what we can get off. See, I have a little bit here on the Q-tip. Just clean that up a little bit. It's been a lot of hours, but overall, there's very little on there. I think the mascara did well too. Now, the liner that I used, the NYX Vivid, I can really see that. And none of that smudged in the under eyes. I really like this liner. They have some beautiful colors. So if you're looking to add a little color to your eye look without maybe using a shadow, doing it by lining, I think this is a great option. Let's talk about the Maybelline, the brightener, the yellow. I think it did pretty good. I still look bright under the eyes. What I love is that by mixing it with the setting spray, I didn't get any creasing. So the setting spray is really important. I love this one from CoverGirl, but if you already have one, just take your setting spray and mix it with your concealer and it will last and it will not crease. So I'm very happy with the way that looked. Now the Pat McGrath powder I used to blend the shadows, I am a huge fan of this. I would have put more on my face if I wasn't trying to see how the foundation would do. But this is just such a fine powder. I am a huge fan and I don't usually like powder that much. Speaking of powder, let's talk about the Carsland powder that I used. I love the way it blurred my lines. I feel like the forehead makeup actually looked better than these spots where I did not apply powder. Where I didn't apply powder, when I looked in my close-up magnifying mirror, I could see some makeup puddling a little bit in the pores. It's very hard for you to see on camera. I have a 10 times mirror, so I can look at that and see when my makeup is laying more smoothly on the surface or if it's puddling in my pores. And there was a lot of pore puddling going on here. And remember, I started off with the Glow recipe, and this really tightens the pores. So even with this on, I still was having an issue. So that's another reason I wasn't a fan of the foundation. Now let's move on to the lips. I use the Gabriel liner. I really love that. It's in a beautiful shade, Nutmeg. I just think it's such a versatile shade that would look great with a lot of lipsticks maybe you already own. It's a really nice pencil liner. And the lipstick, I'm such a fan of Mario's lipstick. I know some of you probably won't like this shade on me. You'll like something more colorful. But if I do want a lighter lipstick and I want to go more intense with my eyes, I think this shade is a beautiful shade. And you might have a lighter skin tone than me or a different shade of lips. The shade your lips actually are really changes the lipstick. Mine are very mauve. I've given lipstick to my daughter who has very cherry looking lips, and it looks totally different on her. So with this, I think it looks sort of like a pinky mauve, I would say, on me. And this again was Midtown. And so I think these two together look really beautiful, these shades, and you could add as much of the nutmeg as you want. I added some on the sides here today when I came home. I did have to reapply the lipstick. This lipstick isn't super long lasting. I do have to reapply after I drink coffee or water or eat lunch. But it's not one that wears off quickly either, and using the lip liner makes it last so much longer. Let's talk about the Winky Lux. I think it held up beautifully. I am a fan. I think this looks really nice on my skin. It lasted all these hours. It doesn't sit on the skin where you can see it. It just looks like I have this glow to my skin. I think it looks great. One other thing I wanted to mention is this CoverGirl pencil. This is actually called the Perfect Blend. Look at my brows. They're still intact, even the tail. I think they look great. They look natural. They don't look like I've drawn them on. So I'm a real fan of the pencil too. Let me know in the comments below your favorite product. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, which about 60% of you aren't, I'd love to have you here. I appreciate you so much. I hope you have a blessed and beautiful week, and I'll look forward to seeing you soon.